Lost when I feel like nothing, always feel like I'm running. Both feel we're living worlds apart. It's fucked now, we lost in limbo. Remembering what you said though, when I asked you if we'd make it far. That one last kiss that they write about, my one last wish you could never doubt. I trust angels who fly away from you, and you told me that we'd never die. Gave me so many reasons why we were meant to be. Then she said no, 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 no. No, 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 no. You should. I've earned the cost and now I've paid it. Oh no, no, no. Oh please don't go. I know my face a memory erasing. Been a few years since I heard your voice, yeah. Lost a few here but it's not by choice, no. Girl, I see your face every day when I look through my phone. Can't delete all these memories, won't leave me alone. Hit my blind side, never saw it coming. You were so wild, both know I was nothing. And I'm nothing now, nothing's changed. You know I'm just the same. Miss you now, but I hope that someday you explain. That one last kiss that they write about, my one last wish you could never doubt. I trust angels who fly away from you, and you told me that we'd never die. Gave me so many reasons why we were meant to be. Then she said,
well, hello, my cool cats and kittens. How's everyone doing? Hope you are well. Today is July 18th, 2023. It is 4:55 p.m. on the East Coast of the United States. Hope everyone is well. Thank you all for joining me. Got some news. We're going to be talking about Carlee Russell. Things is getting a little dicey, it's looking like, and I really, really pray that this is some big misunderstanding. I'm not entirely ready to say I don't believe her or believe the situation, but I'm also saying that it's feeling a little weird. Also, we've got some information on Quinton Simon case. Leilani Simon, the mother, back in the headlines, trying to, in my opinion, not be accountable for her egregious wrongdoings. But first, let's get started with Carlee Russell. Miss Carlee Russell. Now, like I said, there's a lot going on here, but remember where she was driving, she kind of pulled off on the side of the road, kind of went down with her flasher lights, and things, there has been no sign of a child being saying that they went missing. There's been nothing, zero, nada. But I've got some screenshots of people talking, and we're going to talk about them. Also, They are alleging that, okay, so if you guys remember Carlee's mom talking about she stopped to get food on the way home, but Carlee had forgotten to get food for her mom, but Carlee said that she was just going to go ahead and give Carlee's food to her mom, being a very generous thing. Well, now it's being alleged that that food was taken. The takeout food was taken. So if that is true, I can't imagine someone abducting you is going to take the food along, and B, you're going to have time, or if you're trying to fight for your life, you're not going to take the food. It happened 20 minutes from Sky Blue. Wow. Now, we also have to remember from behind, there's the highway, there's this little patch of woods, and right behind it, there is an middle upper class, maybe upper class houses, neighborhood, right? There's lots of cameras, and I think this is going to be crucial to Carlee's story. Carlee's parents have done an interview with, who did they do an interview with this morning? We're going to look at it. I think it's Today's Show they did an interview with. The Today Show, we're going to look at it right now. Let me know what you think. I had to, because I have to change things to use them under the Fair Use Act or video, so I had to flip, I had to mirror it and put some question marks and whatever. So here we go. Let me know if you guys can hear this. It's got to take a few seconds before it'll start.
Well, first laid eyes on her again. What was it like?
Could y'all hear that? In my opinion, she has them believing the story. You might be right. You might be right. I hope this is not another Jussie Smollett kind of thing. But if it is, it is. They did take the $65,000 fundraiser down. I believe that they refunded everyone. So I pray this is not true, guys. I really do. Because you guys in true crime, us in true crime, we really are pouring our hearts out on the line here, trying to get these stories out the best we can, praying, hoping. And if something like this happens, it's really bad. Now, she's going to nursing school. She is legit going to nursing school. If this turns out to be something nefarious, she probably has ruined her life. She's not going to get to go to nursing school, probably. I don't think she thought it would go nationwide. Yeah, you're probably right. You're probably right. I think, a lot of times they think, oh, just little old me, I'm just doing this, whatever. But we live in a global world now. Things go nationwide in 2.3 seconds. All right, let's get started.
To me, I mean,
Okay. Oh,
just so much joy.
This morning, in an exclusive sit-down with NBC News, the parents of 25-year-old Carlee Russell are speaking out, describing the moment their daughter appeared on their doorstep after being missing for more than 4.
What did you do when you saw her?
okay. I want to say something. If you are abducted, if you are kidnapped, if you've had to fight for your life for 48 hours, and we know the first 48 hours is the most crucial time. I was live when we were almost at 48 hours, and I said, guys, we're almost at 48 hours. Something's got to give. Something's got to give with this. And oh, she already has her bachelor's degree. That's right. She did graduate, didn't she? But wasn't she a student for something else? I mean, that's not good. That's not good, especially if you got your bachelor's degree already. But if you are, abducted and 48 hours goes along, are you going to show up at your parents' house? Is that going to be the first thing you're going to do? Or are you going to run to the first human that you can go to, knock on a house, call the police? I've just been, abducted, beat, whatever, for the first 48 hours, right? Or are you going to go to your parents' house first thing? Now, initial reports is she was dropped off at her parents' location. And then we've heard that she walked. I really don't know which one is the truth at this point. We'll get more information as the days come out. Did she have marks of, I don't know. They're keeping a really hush hush. They're not talking about it. There's only one thing in this interview that the parents say, and it is basically that they believe her and there is someone out there.
We tried to hug her as best we could, but I had to stand back because she was not in a good state. So we had to stand back and let medical professionals work with her. But thanks.
Last Thursday, police.
Now, I'll tell you something. I believe Carlee's parents are good people. I really think they're good people. I think Carlee is a good person, actually. But I think Carlee if this turns out to be true, that this was kind of a hoax, I think she got in too deep with someone or something. But I think the parents are top class, in my opinion.
They say Carlee called 911 to report a toddler on the interstate. She pulled over while on the phone with a family member who described hearing Carlee scream.
Her vehicle's unlocked, running, all her personal belongings except for her phone.
On the scene, police found no sign of Carlee or a child, and they say no children were reported as missing during that time period.
Okay, so now it's starting to kind of stack against her at this point. Yeah, child of God, you're right. I thought about that too. So now it's kind of starting to stack against her because, she's driving, the flashers are on, and she goes kind of a ways. And she does call 911. That's kind of a plus on her side, in my opinion. And she calls a family member, but there is no sign of a child missing, which that doesn't mean there's not a child missing. I'm just saying there's no one has reported. But, it's kind of like starting right there.
The Russells waited in agony until Saturday night.
There were actually just so many calls and texts from people who maliciously lied to us. I just didn't know people could be so evil.
Authorities have not indicated.
And when she, I get it. She's like, I didn't know people could be so evil. I understand that. I do get that. But also 48 hours prior, she probably didn't, understand how people could be so good either. There's the best of humanity, and then there's the worst of humanity. And also, if someone feels like you have betrayed their trust and you have Angel talks too fast. Hi, darling. Good to see ya. Thank you, my love. Love ya. Happy meals. Um, if what was I talking about? I remember what I was talking about. I gotta remember goldfish. But yeah, the best of humanity and the worst of humanity. But when someone feels like they've been duped or betrayed, people get angry at that. And we seriously still don't know what has happened. Now, I'm going to show you some stuff that may change your mind. It may not change your mind. I think we do need to wait until the investigation is done, to be fair. But it's kind of looking a little sketch, in my opinion, at this point.
Hours she was missing, or what happened. Her parents declined to share what their daughter told them, citing the ongoing investigation.
And can you tell me what happened Saturday night? Did you just get a knock at the door?
Anything leading to the case itself, we can't discuss that.
But they say
So they're saying they ain't gonna talk about this case. We're not gonna talk about it.
speculation about the circumstances surrounding Carlee's disappearance are only making things worse.
She's having to deal with the trauma of people just
Now urging the public to let the investigation play out, but mentioning an abductor. Her mother asking to read a brief message to the public.
Carlee has given detectives her statement so that they can continue to pursue her abductor.
Do you?
Okay, so that's a big statement. That is a big statement right there. Carlee has given her statement to pursue her abductor. So that is, she's saying right there, Carlee's mother, listen, Carlee has an abductor, according to Carlee, and it appears, in my opinion, that the parents fully believe their daughter. At this point, at least. At this point, at least.
Do you believe that there's an abductor still out there?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
They absolutely, double absolutely said they believe that Carlee's abductor is out there.
Reached out to the Hoover Police Department to ask whether they're looking for an individual involved. Police have just said they're following up on all information provided by Carlee.
And when I talk,
Following up on all, that's an interesting statement. Following up on all information provided by Carlee. They didn't say that they are. Has the authorities said, be on the lookout for the silver car? Has Carlee given a description and they've done a composite of this male, I'm assuming, if you know a person that looks like this, obviously if Carlee was abducted in a car, I'm sure someone didn't just run on foot, and carry her and run, 20 miles down the road, right, or whatever. So they're not saying look out for this specific car, this make, this model. The police aren't saying that. Not saying that. Yes, no bolo, nothing. So we got the red flags flying. What about the daughter? What did you just say? What about the time? Where is that baby? And that's exactly right. There's no sign of a child missing. I'm sure if she saw this child, she's going to be able to give a description of a child. Where did the child go? Did the child get abducted with you? Did they separate you? What is it? So what'd you do this for? Mental break. In my opinion, my opinion on this is I think she may have been seeing someone else. I think there's someone else involved. Now, Carlee has a boyfriend. That's just my opinion. She does have a boyfriend. That is true, and we're gonna look at some things he says. But we got some crazy messages we're gonna show. So I just want to know: is there someone else involved?
On Saturday, you also said.
I mean, this is the thing. Carlee works where she works. They know what time she's getting off. She's right there with her family, right? Her boyfriend knows her schedule and everything. So she has like no free time on her hands, right? So I think this was potentially a way of her getting maybe some free time on her hands. I don't know.
That your daughter is a fighter and she would find a way back to you.
I felt that in my heart.
Is that what happened?
She did. She found her way back to us. However, so that.
But they say one thing is clear.
Do you believe she was fighting for her life?
Oh, she definitely fought for her life. There were moments when she physically had to fight for her life, and there were moments when she had to mentally fight for her life.
So mom says there were moments she had to physically fight for her life and mentally fight for her life. So what she's saying there is there was obviously violence over the 48 hours, moments.
But she made it back to you.
She made it back.
Yeah, she did make it back. All right.
So that.
But they say one
But right now, they're analyzing that initial 911 call and also that traffic cam video showing that car driving on the interstate very slowly with its flashers on, believed to be Carlee's car. And of course, they're looking at the evidence from the crime scene, including the car and her cell phone, which was found on the roadway nearby. Police say that they have been able to account for all of her steps leading up to her disappearance, but those 48 hours when she was gone still remain a mystery. Hoda?
Yeah, leaving off.
Interesting. So it's a lot to talk about there. All right, now I'm going to show you guys some screenshots, as we say, some receipts. Let's find them. It's well, if she had to fight, she would have injury, scratching, etc. She would. I would probably think they would do a R kit on her as well. You know, this Red Roof Inn, remember when we first heard about it, they said, oh, it's just nothing to it. And now we're kind of learning. One second, I started up. So I'm just going to show you a few screenshots here. 151 standing forward and right of the car. It's hard to see, but I'm right here where this little, next to where this arrow is. This is, in my opinion, a human being, right here. Now we're going to show right here. 159 to 201 this person appears to be going down the hill. 201 in video, possibly walking downhill into woods, right down here. So this person, whoever was doing this, thank you always late. How was EMT there when Carlee got to the door? I wondered that myself, because I thought, you know, when you first saw her, the EMT was all around. I didn't understand that myself. That's a very good question, and I wish they would have elaborated on that, or the interviewee would have asked on that. Very good question. So I think she parked here, in my opinion, and they went down over the hill into that little patch of woods and into that neighborhood. Now, you got to remember, the police was there within 3 minutes. 3 minutes. So Carlee would only have been, a minute or two ahead of them. It wouldn't have been that far. Not at all. Not at all. So I think, in my opinion, that's probably most likely scenario. This is after Carlee was found, taken to the hospital. There was many supporters outside the hospital, media. A crowd of Carlee's family and friends is gathered outside waiting on an update. I spoke with some of them, and while they want to wait on her parents to make official statements, many described themselves as feeling relieved that she was recovered alive. I totally agree. What was that? Thank you so much, One Love, my dear. Appreciate you. Thank you, sweetheart. God bless you. Appreciate it. So yeah, it's, lots of support, and that's what makes this really hurtful, in my opinion, because you literally just made your parents' heart almost stop, right? You wasted resources. You wasted police resources, EMT resources, our resources, even here, everyone's resources, media outlets, and you broke trust, particularly if you are a professional yourself. Again, if this happens to all pan out to be a hoax. So, all right, here is cameras right in one of the neighborhoods right behind the house, or right behind the wooded area in the neighborhood. They are going to find evidence. There is too many people. These are nice houses. Too many cameras on these houses. Ring doorbells. They are going to find something, and I bet they already have. Guarantee you. Okay, now everything is alleged. We are not pointing fingers to your research, innocent until proven guilty, Fair Use Act, kumbaya, everything. Throw the washer at it, go for it. Okay, so this is a text. She stole money from her work, completely fabricated a story. Hoover just hit her phone and reviewed the video of the Red Roof Inn of her checking into a room. Oh my Lord, I figured something happened shady was happening. I just want to know, did her family know or was in on it? No, they didn't. They tried to deny the Red Roof Inn story as it unfolded because they knew she was bull and didn't want the embarrassment. Now, remember, I was literally live when this was taking place. People was coming in. Oh my God, she's been spotted at the Red Roof Inn. And family's like, nope, we was there, we're shutting it down. It was all a hoax. If you was in chat when that happened, put a 1 in the chat. Or no, actually put a 5 in the chat. Put a 5 in the chat. We like that 5 here. Oh, yes. Oh, sorry. It knocked me off. So they shut that down real quick. Very quick, actually. All right. Ah, man, that's horrible for her family. They seem like well-off family, but she's going to get ate alive once the details are public and spread around. Of course, I'm not going to say anything. I just mean in general, Yelp as she should. Okay. Next one. Here's the update. She's sticking to the she was abducted. Says she was lured into the woods by some people who live in the woods. No. Yeah. Yeah. No, ma'am. No. Sorry. Thank you, Brandy B. Thank you, my love. Listen, that is a well-to-do neighborhood. There is a little patch of wood. Those are people's backyards. Nobody's going to be living there. No. No. Sorry. Not going to happen. No man, no ham, no turkey. All right. Describe a person with orange hair, balding on top, and tied her up and drove her around and put her in an 18-wheeler and fed her Cheez-Its. Okay, now listen. So they lived in the woods. But they had orange hair, slightly balding. And then they tied you up. Threw you in an 18-wheeler, but they're homeless. I mean, if you have an 18-wheeler, they sleep in the back. There's bunks in the back. And fed you Cheez-Its for 2 days, and they painted her nails. Did they do a good job? I mean, did they do a good job? I mean, because, I'm not really trying to diss anyone, but, if you're homeless and you have orange hair and you're feeding someone Cheez-Its, I just don't think the nail job's going to come out good. My opinion, don't come for me. I'm just saying. All right, let's continue. They kept her on 150 somewhere, and all caps, somehow she manages to get away. Tell the story, boo. And runs through the woods to her neighborhood until she gets to her house and she goes to the hospital. So, like, how far was this 18-wheeler? Was it like in the same neighborhood as where your parents live and you live? Close home, it don't make sense. Just saying. Okay. Hoover got some Ring doorbell footage. What'd I tell you? And from her neighborhood, and it just shows her walking casually. By the way, I just ordered some red flags, and I should be getting them because I'm going to start waving them around when I think there's a red flag. And we'll try to put red flags in the chat when we do that. That's a red flag. I told you. The cameras don't lie. And if you're leisurely walking, as this says, alleges, I got some questions, Bill. Casually walking until she gets close to her house, and then she starts sprinting and flailing arms and acting a fool. Yes, Quinny, they are supposed to have, they lived in the woods, these people that had orange hair, slightly balding, but they tied her up, they threw her in an 18-wheeler, they painted her nails, and they fed her Cheez-Its for 2 days, and she somehow got away, and she's seen in her neighborhood on Ring doorbell footage casually walking, and then she gets close to the house. She starts sprinting, you know, that kind of thing. Redacted with Hoover Fire, so I've got pre-hospital and at hospital side of things, as well as Hoover PD info. And if I knew we wouldn't lose our jobs, which we need to feed our children, I would tell y'all all the tea, but I'm 99% sure with evidence to prove it, this girl had a psychotic break. Thank you, Cheryl. Thank you so much, my love, for the super sticker. Thank you, babes. Appreciate you. Thank you for your support. She could have had a break. I mean, you know, and that's, see, this is my thing. You know, I'm not a psychologist, a psychiatrist, a therapist, nothing. But when you have psychotic breaks, you don't know really, like, do you really know what you're doing when you're doing it? I don't know. I don't know. You know, I feel, in my personal opinion, there's going to be a man involved. That's not her boyfriend. My opinion. She sound like Red Riding Hood going to the woods and seeing the wolf. Blue Bella. You're right, girl. You're right. What'd you say, Queenie? She could have had a mental break, but I'm not convinced yet. I'm not convinced either at this point. I mean, you know, the authorities will make that final decision. So this is supposedly a someone who is in fire or ambulance kind of thing, writing this. I would tell y'all all the tea, but I'm 99% sure with evidence to prove that this girl had a psychotic break and has fooled the entire nation. Like, this job has made me stone cold. I don't believe a word that comes out of anyone's mouth anymore. They will play you for a fool. I doubt the public will get anything more than she's home safe and getting the help she needs. And that's all it'll be. LOL. If this girl was actually abducted for tea, she would have been halfway across the country by now. Yeah. So, craziness. Next one. Because let me tell you something. Hoover is texting right now, guys. Hoover is texting. Janice, thank you, my love. Thank you for becoming a member. Thank you for your support. I do appreciate you, my sweets. In my opinion, all things says, in my opinion, nothing to do with the mental breakdown, because otherwise she would have been found somewhere rather than showing up home. Good. And that's a fair point. It's a fair point. Fair point. Yeah, fair point. What is wrong with our world? I don't know. But it's freedom. Yeah, Sound of Freedom. Yeah, it's a really sad world. You're right. Okay. Captain of Hoover Fire Department. She got caught stealing from work. This is all alleged. From that day. Failed out of nursing school and has been on DRUGS. She had her friend behind her, and that's who picked her up. She was with her friend all weekend. The police knew she was safe because she blocked her ex-boyfriend weeks ago, and she added him while she was abducted. He called the police to tell them half a day before she went back home. She planned to disappear, realized that it wasn't going to work. Wild. Now, there wasn't a car behind her. I mean, there was a time where it looked like a lights was backing up, but I think it was like a reflection, but maybe they could have meant behind the woods as well, like behind the woods, like behind that way. I don't know, but that's a little crazy. So, this is a little thing. 9:34 p.m. Carlee calls 911 to report a toddler walking I-459. 9:36. 2 minutes later, Carlee is talking to her sister-in-law. This means she calls 911 because the toddler walking alongside the interstate, and the call was terminated within 90 seconds. This leads me to believe she hung up on 911. Possibly. Important points. I don't think she ever hung up on 911. I think the phone was left on. But, she may have hung up on 911, but she... Angel Express, did you see the enhanced version? I did see, Angel, I did see one where it appeared lighter. It looked more like dusk rather than dark, if that's the one you're referring to. Yeah. Come on, guys, do me a favor. Janice, thank you so much for becoming a member, my love. I do appreciate your support. Thank you. It really means a lot. Appreciate it. Guys, do me a favor. Go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. We have 789 in and 430. Let's get it to at least 500 likes. Come on. Hit me, baby, one more time. So, yeah. And I-459 was very busy. There was no other reports of anyone seeing a toddler. And honestly, listen, think about it for 1 second. That interstate was busy. It was busy. You saw the cars, multiple cars, 18-wheelers. Listen, I know the world can seem like a really filthy place sometimes. But I do believe there is more good people, decent people at least, than the opposite. And I think there would have been a swarm of cars on the side of the road. Everyone would have slowed down. I've seen videos of kids running out of the road. Everyone just stops and comes to a very slow stop. More people would have been out. That would have been a scene. You would have had 10 911 calls. You would have had 10 911 calls. Period. I mean, you would have. I mean, you know, you do fireworks these days around July 4th, and you get 29 calls for fireworks. Your neighbor shooting off fireworks or whatever. That didn't happen. Nope, nobody else saw it. Nobody else did. Exactly. No reports of a struggle or ambush. From an ambush that happened, she would have had to stop at an exact perfect location for someone lying in wait. Conflicting accounts by family that the 911 call was a three-way call with 911 and family member. Not proven wrong. Carlee's Apple Watch is found in her purse, but she is wearing it in the last photo taken of her from a few hours earlier. All electronics trackable are left behind: watch, phone, AirPods. A few hours later, I wish I had it right now, but I don't. A few hours later, you can look it up, or before Carlee went missing, she had a picture taken. She did have her watch, her Apple Watch on. So, why did you take it off while you're driving? Like, you don't take it off. You don't take it off. That's not what you do. In fact, I would think, a woman driving by themselves these days, your watch can be a lifesaver in many different scenarios. Thank you, my love. I know a few things because a member of family came on a live stream and told us what she was allowed to say. Oh, wow. Hold on. If you want to come up, you're welcome to come up. I'll drop you a link. No pressure, but if you want to, you're absolutely welcome to. Sorry if I hear my dog barking. The spot her car was captured by traffic cam video is an exact location she told 911 and the family was at. So anything happening in the area would be on video. Not great quality, of course. Law enforcement has been completely silent and not appeared with the family on camera as seen yet. Law enforcement and the family, I think now, probably are in different camps, if you know what I mean. So yeah. That girl says her sister said she hears cars. The phone line was opened and law enforcement said her phone pinged at marker 1. Wonder where the phone was. Side of the road, law enforcement said. That's it's just crazy. Oh, Angel, come up, of course. You want to come up, Angel? You're welcome to, of course. No pressure. I just saw that girl say something too. Yeah. So here we have the boyfriend. I don't even know how to start this post, but to say thank you to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ for saving my girlfriend's life. Also, thank you to everyone who shared pictures, came out to the Hoover Met to help us with search parties, and who went and proceeded to tell other people about Carlee to bring more awareness to her story. I have been going nonstop since I received the call that she was missing on Thursday night. I know she would have done the same thing for me, so I wasn't going to give up until I saw her face again. I was straight tunnel vision, even when I would get on social media and on my downtime and see some of the false allegations and assumptions about me having something to do with her abduction would have me discouraged at times. I didn't give up and kept my faith. I just wanted to thank all my family, friends, former teammates, and church members who called or texted me and just let me know that they're praying and here for me. You guys don't know how much that means to me. All I ask from everyone right now is to be respectful of Carlee's situation. She is literally fighting for her life. She was literally fighting for her life in the last 48 hours. So until she's physically and mentally stable again, she is not able to give any updates or whereabouts on her kidnapper at the moment. I also want to thank the people on social media who have been understanding and respectful about what she has been through in the past few days. Once again, I can't thank you guys enough for helping us bring Carlee home. God bless you all. Hashtag Carlee found. Hashtag Carlee Russell. I think the boyfriend is blind. You're blind, in my opinion. I'm telling you, I think she did Ducky's love. I think she did. I I mean, it appears publicly the boyfriend is believing. It appears. So, just saying. Social media is to blame for the ignorance of our generation. I do not believe it is possible that we think before we hop on trendy bandwagons, because just sit and listen. Carlee is 25, graduate and AKA and a nurse. She left behind a watch, a wig, and a GDMF Benz. Now just wait. She staged all this for what? Oh, okay, exactly. That makes no sense. To get on here and fake, pray, and plead for a safe return just to get back on her, just to get back on here after she has found and make jokes for some likes, some shares for other people. It's disgusting, it's embarrassing, it's pathetic. I pray so hard for her and my heart was so heavy, constantly checking for updates because that could have been, but I know God, I know the God that I serve, and when two or more come together and agree on earth, that it is done in heaven. Not only am I grateful that she is home alive, I'm thankful to God for always showing up. Hallelujah! I am glad God always shows up too, but I'm going to tell you something. It don't make sense. Don't make sense. Listen, I don't care how you cut it. Listen, we all wanted her home. I'm so glad she is home. But let me tell you something. There's some questions, sister. We got questions. Yes, she drove a Merc. She drove a Merc. Yeah, she drove a Merc. She sure did. Left it on the side of the road, hazard lights beaming, honey. Okay. I just pray that somehow, like, I'm thankful if she wasn't really abducted. I'm thankful that it wasn't a scenario like that. But I'm also really upset that we were all like, I was up till like 3 a.m. researching, trying to find out everything that I possibly could, get out there for her. And it's like, Dang. It's amazing most of us saw the video that was first released. It's odd that your mind can. Well, I mean, yes, that is true. That is true, but you could tell, in my opinion, that there was, going over. Okay, we got it. Hold on 1 second. Hello, my dear.
Oh,
Oh, hello, sir. Sorry.
can you hear me?
How are you doing? Oh, can't hear you. Can y'all hear him? It might be my side. Hold on 1 second. It might be my side.
What do I do?
Sometimes this
I
does
can't
it.
hear anything.
Let me fix something. All right, see if I can hear you now.
Hello.
Okay, I can hear you now.
Something happened.
We got you.
I deleted YouTube. I should have done that, huh?
No, you're good. You're good now. Hello? Okay, hold on 1 second. Can you hear us? Okay, I'm gonna kick. Let's see if he can try to come back up with that link. Candace Owens is even now talking. Well, Candace is famous as she would once. Yeah. We'll see if he can come back up and see what it's about. So yeah, this is absolute, craziness, really. Okay, he's coming back up. Let's hope we can.
I have no sound.
All right, are you there?
I have no sound.
You have no sound?
I can't hear you. I don't know what the fuck's going on here. I'm gonna do it again. I have to go off YouTube and
Yeah, make sure you.
I'm off YouTube right now. I'm gonna go back in YouTube and redo it again. Can I do that?
Okay. Okay, we'll figure it out one way or another. All right. So now we've got some news in Leilani Quinton Simon case, by the way. And as you all know, I've covered Quinton Simon's case from the beginning. I was in Savannah, Georgia. It's a case that was very close and dear. One of the closer cases that really was hard. It was really hard to deal with, right? And she's in the news again. We're going to look at some reports. Oops, maybe I put up the wrong one. Give me 2 seconds. Felony murder. Which one did I do with it? Okay, there's the brazenness one. Give me 2 seconds, y'all. So sorry. All right, here we go. Perfecto. All right, one marvels at the brazenness. Prosecutors respond to defense motion in Leilani Simon trial. She's trying to get out of it, y'all. She's trying to get out of it. She said, if something happens and I had something to do with it, I will take myself down to that police station. My eye is twitching. My eye is twitching. Seriously. Because this woman. Because this is what she did. This child will never be on this earth again. Never. He had breath in his lungs. He was healthy and he was perfect. But you took that away, Leilani, and you pay the price. You know what? Any of us could have been, any of us could have had a Leilani Simon as a mother. We don't choose our parents. We don't choose the country we're born in. We don't choose that. And if you have good parents or a good caregiver, thank them, regardless of your differences in life. Thank them for that and give them credit. Please thank them and give them credit for that. I'm going to show you I'm going to show you the full document on this. Okay, let me try this again real quick. Hello? Can you hear me?
Hello?
Okay. All right, it's not working, sir. Sorry. A prosecutor has responded. If you want to email me, mods, drop my email and I can message him later. I can do an interview with him later if he wants or whatever. A prosecutor has responded to one Chatham County mother's motivation to have her murder charges dropped in the unaliving of 20-month-old son, Quinton Simon. Leilani Simon was arrested in November and charged with unaliving her toddler son. Listen, I went to the trailer park where she threw her 20-month-old son's remains in like we do our garbage. She threw her son, her blood in the trash, and then pretended and cried and played music and acted like nothing happened. Despicable. And I'll show you. So, okay, here we go. Her attorney filed a special demurrer on March 23rd to drop Leilani's 3 unaliving charges, allegedly that they are imperfect in form. So this attorney is saying, oh, because this, what he perceives as this form, this charge is not exactly right, Leilani should not be, you should drop the charges, the 3 unaliving charges. I'm sure the judge and the DA will be like, yeah, get right on that, okay? Yeah. Assistant District Attorney Tim Dean filed a fury response to the demurrer on Friday, as well as another that aimed to squash multiple counts of false statements. Dean criticized the defense assertion that there is simply not enough evidence to back up the 3 unaliving charges. He claimed that due to the manner in which Quinton's body was processed from a dumpster all the way to the landfill, quote, no cause of unaliving has yet been, sorry, I thought my phone was ringing, ascerned forensically and likely will never be, end quote. The Chatham County Police Department spent weeks searching a waste management landfill in Chatham County for Quinton's remains with the help of FBI and multiple other agencies. Eventually, through a miracle, and I believe it was a miracle, on November 21st, 2022, police found the remains of the landfill that they believe belonged to Quinton Simon. FBI forensic analysis of Quantico confirmed the match. 10. Okay, I'm so sorry. I don't know what's happening to my phone. Sorry, guys. Team Dean wrote, one marvels at the brazenness of Leilani's request to have her unaliving charges dropped, considering all of these facts. Granting the defendant's special demurrer would be tantamount to telling the defendant and others would be unalivers, get rid of the body entirely or do a good enough job trying, and the court will renew your cunning and depravity by declaring you beyond the reach of prosecution for unaliving, Dean wrote. Scathing, right? Dean said that, in effect, the defendant asked the court to validate her actions by consummating her plan, rather. Think about that. Think about that. She and her attorney, in my opinion, I mean, I know you got to fight for your client, man, but dang. These FBI and all of them, they dug in mounds of heat, sweltering heat in Georgia sun for weeks in biohazard, every form and liquid and chemical that you can imagine. This 20-month-old baby was put in. And because Leilani's little whatever, I can't imagine. Fermenting garbage. Yes, and that is exactly what I think Leilani is as well. Fermenting garbage. Absolutely. Absolutely. He also filed a separate response to the defense demurrer to squash 4 of the 14 false statement charges levied against Leilani. Leilani's next scheduled court appearance will come on Friday, July 21st, 3 days from now, at 2 p.m., where she is slotted for a motion hearing. Among some of other key points that are being debated in her case are a set of her journals that the state has subpoenaed Leilani's mother to provide. The defense has since filed a motion to block the delivery of the journals. Yes, the prosecution is feverishly trying to get a hold of those journals, and in my opinion, they definitely should be presented as evidence. Thank you so much, Bryn Marshall. Thank you so much for your support. I do appreciate you, my friend. Thank you. It's very kind of you. So yeah, now I'm going to show you some forms. We're going to look at some forms and show you exactly what. I'm sorry if y'all hear my dog, guys. Thinks she's rules the world right now. So if you hear her barking, I do apologize. I'm not in my studio right now as I have a lot of family here, and it is what it is. So appreciate your patience. So State of Georgia versus Leilani Marie Simon. Chatham County filed 7/14, 4 days ago at 2:34 p.m. The defendant is charged with murdering her 20-month-old son, Quinton Simon, with concealing Quinton's unalived by discarding his body in a dumpster, the contents of which were then deposited at a local landfill, with falsely reporting his disappearance as an abduction, and with telling investigators a series of retreating lies, moving from one lie to the next, only as each lie became untenable in the face of additional information covered by law enforcement. Because of the ins and outs of waste management and perhaps not common knowledge, more specifics as to what happened to Quinton after the defendant discarded him in the dumpster might be illuminating. Hours after the defendant had quickly discarded Quinton's remains in the dumpster, the hydraulic forks, this is trigger warning, guys. I haven't read this, but it sounds like you were going to need some trigger warnings. So trigger warnings, mods. Please put some trigger warnings because this might be a little graphic. The way this is described. So, okay. Here we go. All right. Hours after the defendant had discarded Quinton's body in the dumpster, the hydraulic forks and front-loading garbage trucks lifted up the dumpster and dumped its contents, including Quinton, in the large box that constitutes the back of the truck. Then a powerful compactor built into the truck compacted the contents of the box. This powerful compacting action is desirable so the truck can collect as much garbage as possible before having to visit the landfill. Eventually, the truck disgorged its load at the trash basin of a local landfill. A trash basin is designed point at which all trucks entering the landfill dump their garbage. It is not the final destination for garbage, rather it's more like a staging area. All right, let's take a breath. Little Miss Sunshine, thank you so much, my dear. Appreciate you for your support. You're very kind. Thank you so much for the trigger warning. Thank you. Like, we know this happened. We've talked about it. But just reading this again, it just lights that underneath of you. And you just think, how could you, to save your own self, you did this. You did this. And I have been to the dumpster areas where she did this. I want to show you. Here, I'll show you. I want to show you this. Let me find it real quick. Right here. And this is the thing. Like, I was out there protesting. I was. And I could not believe that they were playing Disney on Ice, sitting on the back porch, laughing, having a party, and perceiving to have the time of their lives. While Disney on Ice is playing Mickey Mouse, when she knew she beat the hell out of her son 10 to 12 feet away in the living room. This is it. And Don and Candace maybe would do that, but I mean, I can't, I just like, I don't know. I really don't. It was just the most sickest thing I've ever seen. Trigger warning. A bulldozer then shoved the heap of garbage some 300 feet from the trash basin to a cell. A cell is designed area to which garbage heaped at the trash basin is being routed at a given time. This is not a neat process. It requires repeated trips by the bulldozer and involves, in addition to shoving, some amounts of spreading, smearing, etc. So what happens is I've been to the dump like several times, and when you go to the dump, sometimes if you have like a big load, they have you go to like where the dump trucks go, and the dump trucks will dump their load. And then what happens is these humongous bulldozers come and they shove the trash, and then they back up and they shove the trash again. They just keep shoving it and shoving it and shoving it. It is the methane gas, and it's just terrible. Yes, Erica, he certainly does need justice. I tell you, the babysitter of Quinton, her family is just absolutely beautiful. It was an honor to know them and talk to them, and they opened up their home, and just amazing people. All right. This is not a neat process. It requires repeat trips by the bulldozer and involves, in addition to shoving, some amount of spreading, smearing. Once at the cell, the garbage and Quinton were compacted by a roughly 50-ton machine that looks something like a steamroller. But the rollers are stubbed rather than smooth. This is hard to hear. It's hard to hear, but it's important. It's important that we see, and Leilani wants to get out of this. Hey, Chris, thank you so much. I appreciate you, honey. Thank you for being here. Hey, Camilla, good to see you, honey. Maybe the child was part of the... it's important because we need to see the evil that is done to these children. We need to see that. So we understand how sick, depraved these people are. Then there was the search. One law enforcement had identified the cell in which Quinton was likely to be located. They set about searching it. This process consisted of excavators scooping garbage out of the cell and loading it into dump trucks. The dump trucks then unloaded the garbage at an open area known as the search deck. The garbage then being spread out into an even layer on the search deck. Now, they had to scoop this garbage out, lay it out, and go through every single piece of it. Every single piece. Because anything could have been evidence. You're at a landfill where the entire city's trash goes. All of it. Okay. Where was that? The garbage then being spread out into an even layer on the search deck, law enforcement then painstakingly combed through the garbage, and the garbage then being cleared from the search deck to make room for the next load. This process was repeated day after day, load after load, ton after ton, until efforts finally met with grim success. All of which to say Quinton's body went through a lot. And a direct result of the defendant's deliberate choice not only to conceal Quinton's death, but to do so specifically by submitting him to the violence of waste management system. Law enforcement did not discover his remains, not his intact body, but his remains. For more than a month after his disappearance. Naturally, Quinton's body had by then undergone severe trauma and decomposition. To be clear, it is not as though law enforcement found Quinton's remains in a single location on the search deck. Rather, they were dispersed across it. A bone here, a bit of tissue there. Quinton's cause of death, therefore, was not apparent from lay observation of his remains. Even then, Quinton's remains were only discovered because of heroic dodginess of law enforcement. Yes. All right. Let's take a breath. One second. I don't even drink, and I need a drink. And while forensic analysis is ongoing, no cause of death has yet been asserted forensically and likely will never. Nor has evidence conclusively established Quinton's cause of death. They will never probably know how Quinton died via autopsy. Now, I've worked in funeral homes. I've seen a lot. Kids, I don't care how long you've been in the funeral business. I don't care how long you've been in it. Any type, working at the morgue, anything. It is not easy. It doesn't matter if you've worked there 85 years. Those are not easy. And I'm just going to tell you what I think happened. I think Leilani beat the hell out of him. That is exactly what I think happened. She was detoxing, she was coming down, or she was strung really high, and she beat the hell out of him. Nor the evidence conclusively established Quinton's specific cause of death. No one saw the defendant's murder. Quinton, as filicide, tends to be clandestine endeavor. And the defendant's various statements to law enforcement and to the news media as to how Quinton came to be unalived were inscrutable and malicious of, I don't know, I don't remember, I don't think I would do anything to hurt him, but if I did, I will take responsibility. How many times did we hear that? How many times did we hear that? I will go straight down. I will take myself down to the police station if I did anything. Right then and there. You just told on yourself. 100% of parents know if they did something to their child. What do you mean if you did something, Leilani? If. Evil. That's all it was. I don't know. I don't remember. I don't think I would do anything like that to harm him. But if I did, she'll take responsibility. The state of the evidence as to Quinton's cause of unalive then is the fault of the defendant and the defendant alone. Defendant and the defendant alone. Further, her actions is disposing of his body and concealing its whereabouts indicate that her specific intent and hope was that Quinton would never be found at all. And she almost got that. She almost got that. It is like literally less than a 1 freaking % chance that it is nothing short of God's mercy and those hard people working, the FBI agents and all of them out there working tirelessly to find this little boy's pieces. This idea seems to have been nobody, no case. It is against this factual backdrop that the defendant now moves to quash her unaliving charges on the grounds that proponently contain insufficient information as to how exactly she unalived Quinton. Really? One marvels at the brazenness. Granting the defendant's special demurrer would be tantamount to telling the defendant and others would be unaliving, get rid of the body entirely or do a good enough job trying, and the court will reward your cunning and depravity by declaring you beyond the reach of prosecution for unaliving. When I say unaliving, it's murder. In effect, the defendant asked the court to validate her actions for consummating her plan. Fortunately, this is not how it works. Under Georgia law, an indictment is not required to include any more specifics than the evidence, which again was shaped by the defendant. In the calculation, she appeared, the footnotes here, in the calculation, she appeared to have underestimated the perseverance and commitment and competence of the multi-agency law enforcement team that undertook this investigation. Even this is not an accurate reflection of the law. Allows the state to allege the incident in this case is proper given the information available to the state, so the court should reject the defendant's gambit. First, the defendant argues that the 3 unaliving charges are deficit for not specifying Quinton's cause of unaliving. However, it was long been that the law indictment failing to specify the cause of unaliving in should death is sufficed when the circumstances of the case will not admit any greater certainty in stating the means of unaliving. And it shows law statutes and all that, which itself quoted a Massachusetts case. Okay. Second, the defendant argues that the count 2 felony unaliving predicted on aggravated ASSAULT is not specific that object that the defendant used to inflict the aggravated ASSAULT. However, the indictment is not required to identify the exact weapon or object used. The circumstances of this case do not allow such specific. So they don't know exactly how Quinton unalived. They don't know. They don't know if Leilani used her hands, if she used a weapon or whatever. The only thing that they know is, in their opinion, Leilani did it. In my opinion, she did it. And the defense is trying to say, oh, well, because you don't know this, you can't charge her. That's not how Georgia law works. All right. Here, because the indictment is a specific as it can be on the point there is no basis under the Supreme Court of Georgia precedent to the grant a specific demur. Third, the defendant argues that count 3 felony unaliving predicated on cruelty to children in the first degree is deficit from not specifying the manner in which the defendant calls Quinton cruel and excessive physical pain. However, here again, the state cannot be more specific than the evidence permits. It is demanding more specific information that the state can allege in light of her actions. The defendant cites, they're citing. In order to satisfy due process with the indictment charges a compound felony, such as felony unaliving, the count charges, the compound offenses must contain the essential elements of predicate offense of the indictment must contain a separate count charging the predicate offense. Must allege. Blah, blah, blah. All right. Let me find out where. Okay. I think there's this. Here, the unaliving charges as the defendant on the state proves that she intentionally unalived Quinton. Malice unaliving. That even if she did not specifically intend to kill, I shouldn't have said that. I'm not supposed to say that. Quinton, she never did unalive him by way of aggravated ASSAULT with harm object that caused him seriously bodily harm. Okay. We don't need that. So, yeah. What else are they saying? Okay, they're charging her for the false statements. Let me make sure that's it. Okay. Yep, that's enough. Okay. So that's a lot. That is a lot. She knows exactly what she did, Camilla. You are absolutely right. And let me tell you something. She's not going to get away with it. She's not going to get away with it. Never gonna happen. So yes. I'm sorry if I missed it. I had to pop out, but they have her on camera at the dumpster. Hold on, sorry, I just messed my chat up. If you go back on my channel, I actually went to that trailer park and I went to the dumpsters. There's a dumpster up front and there is many dumpsters in the back. She did the ones more up front. I believe that they have her going in to the trailer park, but I'm not sure if they have her throwing. I mean, they've got her, her cell phone. They've got her tracking the car and all of that. They got all of that, but do they have her actually throwing? I'm not so sure about that, to be quite honest with you. Quinton is precious. Absolutely precious. And every child deserves better. Oh my God. Listen. It doesn't matter how mad you get or if you're coming down off of something, please don't hurt your kids, your animals, elderly. Don't do it. It is just a moment in time. Breathe. If this is, if you can't take care of a child, There is no judgment. Don't drag the child through a horrible life. So many of us pray every single night what you are not wanting a child. We pray for every single night. And there is plenty of us out there that would love to have a child like Quinton, like Summer, like Minnie. Thank you so much, Young at Heart. Thank you so much for your support. I appreciate you, dear. And just again, that's right, Miss Kirby. Walk away. It's not. It's a moment in time, and I really respect people who says, you know what, maybe I had a kid, but you know what, I can't do this. They think that, they can't do it, and they give that child up for adoption, whether the child is newborn or, older, an older child. Just don't drag your kid through a harder life because of the decisions and the circumstances that you made or are around you. Be a hero for your child and say, listen, I'm not what you need, but there is so many out there that will give you what I can't or don't want to. Whatever, it is what it is. So yeah, she had that babysitter who would have kept him. Oh my God, the real tea. She would have adopted Quinton. I mean, I'll tell you something. We went to her house, babysitter's house. She had a child that she took care of that was special needs. And when I mean special needs, I mean very special needs, who she's watched for a long time. And she does so good. Just the love in her heart. I think when Marissa and I was there, it kind of felt like her house kind of felt very similar to the way we grew up. It wasn't a lot, but there was so much love and we had everything we need, minus the glitzy fancy stuff, but we had everything we needed. And more importantly, we had love, and it was clean, and we were all together. And just days prior, Quinton was outside in a ditch. I love you guys so much. I want to thank you all for being here. I do appreciate you. You guys are literally the best. Thank you all for the likes, the thumbs up, the love, the support. Means a lot, really. You could have chosen to be anywhere, and you chose to be right here with me. And I am forever thankful for your support and just your caring about these victims. So many don't, and I appreciate that. God bless each and every single one of you, the ones who love me and the ones who don't. God bless you and yours. I will be live in a little bit. Again, we're going to be talking about Candace. Candace is coming home, and going to be talking about that. There was a little bit of kind of a mix-up last night. Daisy being in a chat, and I wasn't in at the time, and someone said in another chat, you know how all that stuff starts. And I had a question because it was about mice and rats and stuff like that. But I do want to show some things about kind of the rat situation at the Wells house and stuff. And that was a year ago. And I want to talk about what's going on in the Summer Wells case. What's going on with Don and Candace. Candace was crying last night. We got a lot to talk about with that. And then later this evening, I am showing a new parody of a character. Her name is Justine 5555. Justine 5555. We'll be showing that new character off. If you've seen me I was on Prayer Gardens last night. I did do a little debut there. Her name is Christine 5555, and she has a friend. The Justine 555 has a friend, and her name is Daisy Garden. Daisy Garden. So we'll have a lot of fun with that. So if you haven't subscribed to my second channel, it's called Clutch Them Pearls, and it is a whole nother side of it's where we laugh and we do absolutely everything on that channel. It's my variety channel. It's when true crime becomes a lot and you need to decompress and just laugh a little. And nothing is ever really in malice. It's really just to have fun. And that's it. That's it. The parodies is just parodies. And that's all. That's really all it is. So, there's no rats chewed wires. Daisy said she never said that, so I don't know. I don't know what Daisy said, but I do know that there's rats, and I'll show you proof. So in a little bit, but yeah, it doesn't really. I'm not really, concerned if someone doesn't like, my blonde wig and being Justine 5555. It's not, laugh, have fun, enjoy your life, and don't take yourself so seriously. It's nothing negative against you or anybody else, you know what I mean? So just chill out. So we do have the best mods on YouTube, Beagle Mom. Thank you so much. They work really hard on here, and they are amazing. So I love you all. Appreciate you. I'll see you guys on the next one. God bless.